Welcome once again to Physics Lab. Last time we have already learned about the concepts of frequency of AC means. If you have not seen it, kindly click the link in the description box. You will learn all the concepts of frequency of AC means experiment. So to start with, what is the aim of the experiment? Aim of the experiment is to find the frequency of AC mains. At the AC mains, we get 220 volts, then it gets converted, it gets transformed by some instrument called as transformer. It is a step down transformer. It is going to bring down the voltage to 12 volts. You can see this transformer. The transformer has got different voltages here, 2, 4, 6, 8 till 12 volts. So you can vary the voltages of the transformer. Step down transformer brings down the voltage, higher voltage, AC input into lower voltage. Then we have a key, then we have a AC emitter, it will measure the AC current. Then we have the rheostat, it is going to control the current and will keep in a desired range. Then we have something called as sonometer box. Have you heard? It's a hollow box. Why is it hollow? It is hollow because it has to do some beautiful work, as you have seen in the instruments like guitar, sitar. Why are they hollow? Those boxes are hollow. Why are they hollow? What happens is when you vibrate the string, the vibrations created in the string is for setting the air inside this box into vibrations. So the air inside the box starts vibrating and then we get a loud sound. In order to increase the intensity of sound, our sonometer box is hollow. Now what are we going to vibrate? Let's see now. Can you see this wire? This wire is a non-magnetic material and this wire has got some mass. It's a very thin wire. We'll learn about it later on. And here we have two knife edges. We can change the length of the wire. These are the two node points and this is the wire hanging in between. You can also see the magnets here, north facing south. This area in between the two magnets is the area of uniform magnetic field. So north field lines move toward the south and we get the parallel lines which are of equal length, and when we are keeping this wire in between the two, something great is going to happen. Now let's see what happens. One more thing we are missing here. Okay, these are the masses which you can see. Each mass is 100 gram. So here we are giving the tension to the wire. As in the string instruments like guitar, sitar, there is a tension where you tighten that and you give the tension to the wire. In the similar manner, we have masses hanging here. At the moment, the mass hanging here is 200 grams. 100 gram is the hanger weight, 100 extra gram is the extra mass. So total mass in the hanger is 200 gram. So that is all about our setup. Now, one more thing I would like to tell you. In 11th standard, you have seen this tuning forks. We have already done an experiment with the tuning fork and the sonometer wire and we found a relationship between the frequency and the resonating length along with tension. So now I will show you how the vibration is made loud by this box. So what I do is, I just bang it like this. Can you hear the sound? Can you hear the sound now? You can't hear. Now you can hear the sound because the intensity of sound increases inside the hollow box. So now let us see what we have to do. Now after setting up this, we will see the connections. There is one terminal of the transformer going to the wire. Can you see this crocodile pin? This crocodile pin, it goes to the wire. From here, it goes to the key. From the key, it moves to connected to the emitter. This is the emitter connection. Then it is connected to the fixed terminal of the rheostat and variable terminal of the rheostat is connected to the second crocodile pin. You can see that. So here, and this is the connection complete because this is a wire. Now you know very well that we have to keep the current restricted to 1 ampere to 1.2 or 1.3, maximum 1.5. More than that we are not going to increase the current, otherwise the wire will get hot, and we don't want to do that. First we have to see whether the magnet is exactly perpendicular to the wire, magnetic. So let's start with the experiment. Put on the transformer. I've set it on 8 volts. Put on the key. I have adjusted the rheostat on 1 ampere. You can see here very well, 1 ampere. And then what I do is I keep this together. Before that, first only you have to keep it together. And now I have kept the paper rider, which is fat paper rider, very close to the magnets. Slowly I am taking it away. You can see that the paper had fallen. Why do you think paper had fallen? Only because the vibration is maximum, and that is the time the paper rider will fall. Let me check whether I am getting a beautiful loop. Yes, I am getting a beautiful loop over here, and what I do is I take the ruler and then find the length. So before finding the length, don't forget to put off this. Put it off and then take the length. So the length is 40.7. The mass is 200 gram. Length is 40.7. Like this you need to take more and more readings. 2 readings for one mass. Then you have to find the mean, average of that, and then find L square and M upon L square. M is the mass, which is 0.2 kg. Then you have to divide it by L square. The first reading. The second reading, you need to put 300 grams. Take the second reading. Third reading, like this you need to take readings. So let me show you the second reading. I'll just put the mass here. Again I keep the paper rider here. And then I slowly move this away. Come on, see, paper rider is it not so beautiful to see the paper rider falling? You can actually see the force acting on the wire. I have not touched the wire. I have just passed the current through it. The magnetic field lines perpendicular to it, and the wire started vibrating. Magic? No magic. It is magnetic Lorentz force. And now you can see a beautiful loop here again. So you need to go for the best, and then you have to put it off and take the second reading. Like this you have to take the readings for 300 gram, 400 gram, 500 gram. So first one was 200, then 300, then 400 and 500. So each time you have to take 2 readings. Average, then calculate M upon L square. By the way, what is M? M is the mass, that is 0.2 upon L square, resonating length square. So those calculations we'll do later on. Now in this experiment, I'll just tell you certain things once again, though we have done in the concept part. The step down transformer has converted AC into AC but lower voltage, so it is nearly 8 volts I have kept, the knob at 8 volts. Pass the current in the wire. The current flowing in the wire is perpendicular to the magnetic field, creating a force in the wire. A wire moves up and down. Then we need to go to the natural frequency. We change the length at one position. The paper rider falls. You get the beautiful loop, which is in the fundamental mode. So these are the 2 node points, and this is the anti-node point at the center. So at the center the displacement is maximum. At the node point displacement 0. And this beautiful loop you get in the fundamental mode. And that's the experiment. So what are we finding later on? We are finding the frequency of AC mains. So we need to do the calculations, graph. There are many more concepts which we are learning here. Magnetic Lorentz force. Do you remember magnetic Lorentz force? When the current carrying wire is placed in a uniform magnetic field perpendicular to it, it experiences a force called as magnetic Lorentz force. I, L cross B. I is the current, L is the length, B is the magnetic field. So IL cross B is ILB sine theta. So Fleming's left hand rule. Magnetic field is from this side to this side, north to south. These are the field lines facing you. Then this is the current and this is the force. Force in upward direction. How will the wire move? It will move in the upward direction. In the second half cycle of AC, I turn it this way. Current is in this direction. Magnetic field is in this direction. And the wire will be pulled downwards. Up and down. Wire will move. And when it moves up and down, it will definitely create a vibration. And that vibration, once created, is going to produce a stationary wave, because these are the two node points. So here the vibration reaches here and goes back, because at the node point it is reflected back in the opposite phase. So we get a nice loop here, and that is the point where we have achieved resonance. So the concept of the experiment is resonance. So we have run three concepts. First is AC is creating vibration in the wire because of magnetic Lorentz force. Secondly, natural frequency matches with the external periodic force. And the third is resonance is achieved. That's all about the experiment. Now we need to do the calculations and graph and find out the frequency of AC means. Thank you. So now we'll start with our calculations and graph. We need to find frequency of AC means. Now the frequency of AC means, that is the time we have achieved resonance. So frequency of the wire, natural frequency of the wire is equal to the frequency of AC, which is the forced vibration. When they equal, there is resonance. So what is the actually frequency of the wire? N is the frequency of the wire is equal to 1 upon 2L root T by M. By the way, what is T? T is tension on the wire, which is mass multiplied by acceleration due to gravity. And what is small m? It is the linear density of the wire. So the wire has got some mass per unit length. And what is L? L, when resonance is achieved, frequency of AC is equal to frequency of wire. So that length is the resonating length which is given here. When the resonance is achieved, natural frequency of the wire is equal to frequency of the forced vibration, which is AC. And therefore, here what we get, natural frequency of the wire, which formula I have given, is equal to frequency of AC. So we are going to find frequency of AC. Now, how this formula you get, I have already done in my previous video on concepts. Now I have given in the textual form how do you get the formula. But just to get an idea, once again, I'll repeat. This is the wave. You all know that this is one wave. So this one wave which you see is length is lambda. Length is lambda. Now that means this is lambda by 2 and this is lambda by 2. So this distance is lambda by 2, this distance is lambda by 2. When you get the fundamental mode, what we get is this. So what is this, by the way? Length is lambda by 2. And you remember that we get the vibration of the wire in that time it is having fundamental mode. That stationary wave is fundamental mode or first harmonic. And in Melday's experiment, which I showed you with the tuning fork, I banged it, we get 2 loops. It is called as second harmonic. We get 2 loops. And this is called as fundamental mode or first harmonic. So you all know that V is equal to n lambda. Yes or no? So lambda is, this is my L and this is my lambda by 2. And therefore this becomes 2L. Lambda, this is 2 times length. 2 times resonating length. The lambda by 2 is equal to L. And therefore lambda is equal to 2L multiplied by N. So we get the formula V is equal to 2NL. This formula we get. But we also know that V is equal to root T by M. And therefore we can equate this to, so when we get it, N to NL is equal to root T by M. So N is equal to 1 upon 2L root T by M. N is equal to 1 upon 12 root t by m, which I have written here. This is what we get. Now we need to do simple calculations. So the formula is frequency of the wire, which is frequency of AC means. So frequency of the wire is inversely proportional to L, inversely proportional to root m, and directly proportional to root t. That means more the resonating length, less is the frequency, more is the mass per unit length, less is the frequency, and more is the tension, more is the frequency. This is the relationship. This particular relationship is used in all the musical instruments, string instruments, and in my next video, we will do in detail about the string instrument, how this concept is used in our practical life in the musical instruments. Now we will start with the calculations. M, that is the mass per unit length, is linear density given at, we got it 0.00116 kilogram per meter. G is equal to 9.8, I substitute here. M is this is a modified formula of this, we have modified it. So M is mass per unit length, I have written here 4. And what is 1.2192? M upon L square. That is the average we got from that observation table. We substitute and we get this value. So we get the value as N is equal to 50.74, which is a very good value because it is very close to 50 Hertz. Now we go to the next part of this, calculations by graph. You can see here, this is the graph we have to draw, M versus L square. Since M is directly proportional to L square, we get a straight line passing to the origin. Find the slope, M upon L square is the slope, origin is 0, 0, and slope is nothing but M upon L square. So let's calculate. So N is equal to root of 0.4n multiplied by M upon L square, which is the slope. Calculate this value and we get the value here as N is equal to 49.83 Hertz, which is also very close to 50 Hertz. So these are the two values we get, hardly any error, and I think the experiment is successful. So you've learned these three concepts in this experiment. Thank you very much. If you want more detailed study of this experiment, you need to watch again concepts. That link is given in the description box. Please refer it. It will be definitely helpful to you and it's a very interesting experiment. Thank you and see you once again for the next session. Thank you.